is not good. The mechanism of which to change it comes through the NAFTA agreement of getting the economies more tied together. And this is the vehicle in which you can approach the problem. But to stand back on your side of the fence and just look over there and say, well, you guys have to correct your own problem, we won't deal with you, doesn't result in any benefit. We've done that for years. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but no, they're the ones that are responsible. And they're the ones that should be paying that $20 billion to clean that mess up. And,
by they, you mean the Mexican government or the companies?
The companies that created, I could name them off, but I'm not going to do that here today, that created that pollution problem, that environmental problem. NAFTA does nothing through the supplemental agreements, through the regular first agreements that were written to address that problem.
Oh, I disagree.
They do to the point that if there's a problem,
it opens up the vehicle, it gets it going, it ties the
and you can send your problem to the commission, to a commission.
Right, gives us some ability to
help them enforce it. Same way with labor. You go to the commission.
That's why NAFTA is good.
The commission has no power to do anything.
But NAFTA helps reinforce those things and get more power in those areas.
If I complain about your plant polluting, my stream in my backyard, it's going to. And I take it to that commission, it's going to take 1,770 days for them to decide if it's really a problem. And then after that 1,770 days, they'll get into saying, well, maybe we better do something about this. And that's part of NAFTA. That's what it says. That's what the...
But by tying the economies together, now if you come to my plant and I'm on the other side of a border, you have no jurisdiction. You have no ability to enforce anything. You could only complain. But if, in fact, we start tying the economy together where there is some mutual pressure that can be applied, then you have the ability to come to my plant, for example, and be on the same side.
Let me redirect for just a moment with another question that ties into that, and that is the whole question of when you're dealing with our first world economy here in the United States and a third world economy next door, is free trade between a first world and a third world economy fair trade?
Well, at this time, it's not fair in one respect. There are more barriers for us to deal with a development company than coming back. And NAFTA eliminates some of those barriers. Like I was saying, even on the own products that we have, is that we pay more tariff to try to get in, or there are restrictions from their government. We can't participate in that market in an open manner because they're trying to protect their own turf. By NAFTA, where we can get in and do more economic development in that area, we increase our markets. It's like, again, up in our area in Benton Harbor, we have a Whirlpool up there. They are in the market of providing appliances. Well, the United States is pretty well developed, but you need to sell a lot of washing machines, a lot of TV sets, a lot of refrigerators in Mexico. We need to lower those barriers so that Whirlpool can expand its market in a developing area and develop it. So part of what is free trade is how you mutually benefit through trade to enhance both economies. In the meantime, you build a base that on a world market is more competitive, and you wind up getting net new jobs for your own area.
Jesse Jackson Jr. was in town last night in South Bend, and he made the argument that because this is a third world country with, as you've been suggesting, a corrupt government, one of the things that's happening in northern parts of Mexico is organized crime is buying trucking companies, and that they are planning to exploit the labor and exploit the environment and take advantage of what they see as a weak treaty. Is that something, is that a kind of report that you have heard as well?
Yes, I've heard that report, and it's a matter of fact. There's a corporation down there building trailers, tractor trailers, just the trailers. And the state of California is supplying them with license plates. So that when the trailer is finished, they slap on the California license plate and the Mexican truck driver takes it across the border up into Mexico. Now what's happening is that the Mexican truck driver, and it happens with all kinds of transportation, will be able to leave Mexico with a truckload to deliver to Elkhart, Indiana, and drive all the way up here without a U.S. driver's license, being paid $7 a day, not covered by any highway safety standards that we have in this country, and no CDL license that all truck drivers must have today, drug testing. They will be exempt from all of that while they're on our highways, and they can pick up and they can deliver. And how can an American truck driver, or an American company for that matter, compete with $7 a day and not have to be involved in all those rulings.
Perhaps this is true. I think that whenever a new agreement is negotiated, when things change between countries, there's going to be some difficult times. But I guess I lose a little bit. I think it's a little disingenuous for those individuals who, with crocodile tears, talk about the exploitation of the Mexican worker. Because what are you offering them in exchange? We're offering them a chance for a better paying job. It's not the same as American workers, but it's a better paying job. What you're offering them is maybe no job. Their economy is not going to grow. Their job opportunity is not going to increase if we do not have a free trade agreement. Well, it may increase, but it may be with Japan. It will be with Canada. Canada is already aggressively marketing in Mexico. In fact, I think the Canadian businessmen are hoping that Congress drops the ball on this one, because they have everything to gain because they have passed NAFTA. There will be no border tariffs or anything between Canada and Mexico, but there will be between the United States. Where's Mexico going to trade?
Well, I'll probably trade with Canada, but
so we lose jobs in this country, and American agriculture loses big time.
And I also think you're bringing up too, when you're talking about the worker, and getting back example like with this railroad example, by buying a casting out of Mexico and sending it to China, and using the engineers that we have here in the United States. We have employment both in the United States and in Mexico. Now, there are some people in Mexico that are not going to wind up in the welfare rolls in Los Angeles because there is absolutely no ability to develop their own economy. Our attention to developing their economy is going to save us on social welfare problems, on the illegal alien problem, as well as build our economic base to participate in the world market. So our ability to develop that is a win-win situation for both Mexico and us. And the fact is that many people that are against NAFTA have this little hang-up of no net new jobs. And it's a zero-sum game. There is net new jobs to be had.
Well, at that point, I know you would love to respond. We do not have time, but we appreciate the contributions of all you gentlemen to our discussion this morning of NAFTA, and thank you for joining us for News Talk 28.